So I recently got inspired to talk about music in video games more. I really enjoy music in games. I think it's very important, and I just kind of stopped talking about it, and I thought, you know what? Let's change that. So for my very first video on this, to test it out to see how it goes, I want to talk about the song Spear of Justice in the game Undertale. What I've decided to do with these song analyses is divide them up into three parts: context, musical style, and why it's great, why I think it's great. So let's get right into it with the context. When you first come across Undyne, it's this very mysterious warrior, this mysterious, intimidating warrior standing up on top of a giant mountain and talking down to you. And it's very intimidating until you start to notice little oddities with this character, like when you see the goofy laughing face and you're like, something's up with that. The player soon realizes this is a character who has beliefs, very passionate about those beliefs, whether they're correct or not, fully invested in those beliefs. And this character fully believes that you are evil and you are the bad guy. What makes this great too is that the music kicks in brilliantly. So it first dies. There's no sound. It's just the sound of the text going across the screen as this mysterious warrior that's kind of goofy is going off on you and giving the speech. And then all of a sudden they decide, why do I need to explain myself? And as they do that, the camera changes different positions, and that's when the music hits and the camera changes with the music. And this introduction to this character with this music is absolutely perfect. So after the speech, after the music kicks in, the camera zooms in, and then we can see our enemy here, our intimidating warrior, Undyne. And once that initial intense interaction is done with, the music changes from like a staccato, very forceful, to an almost fluid swing. And for the rest of the song, it kind of keeps that swing for the entirety of it. Now it becomes more fluid and it gets, harder and more energetic at certain moments, but after that initial intense interaction, it kind of drops down and smooths out a little bit. So it's like the beginning of an interaction where you got all the adrenaline, right? Undyne's got the adrenaline. So now we're into the meat of the song itself. So let's talk about the musical style and all of the little things that were added into this to make it Undyne's song here, the Spear of Justice. This is a 6/8 timing, and what that means is it gives the song a swing feel. Not a waltz, but like a swing, you sway back and forth, right? And that 6/8 timing is what creates that. But what also helps that too is what appears to be a 2/3 clave like rhythm. So think of the ba, 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 ba. It helps to create that swinging natural feel to the song, even though it's very energetic. It's very intense. At first, the piano and synth are the main instruments with some, rhythmic qualities there. And then it kind of evolves into what I call the smooth swing segment of the song. So it goes from this really intense staccato, and then it kind of smooths out and becomes more fluid. And this kind of gives you the emotions of Undyne, that initial intense, you've got the adrenaline pumping, starts to not fade away, but it kind of evens out or flat, peaks, right? It's like, okay, we're done, now we're here. And so then it kind of moves into this fluid motion of the battle. Now, I always played the game on the pacifist run. If you don't know what that means, I'm not going to spoil it here. Go play Undertale. It's a great game. I, fought the character, and as it went on, you notice that the next swing, the smooth swing segment, not only are horns introduced, but something that sounds like a flute. Now, keep in mind, all of these are not, real instruments. They're probably synthetic, digitally made, right? But it's supposed to symbolize or replicate a flute, it sounds like. So now we have this really energetic, intense song that's introducing flutes, which is typically, I mean, yeah, you can use them in energetic ways, but they're a lot smoother than the beginning of the song. So it's a really interesting dichotomy that you have that the song evolves through, and we call this dynamics. And the dynamics in the song, without losing its energy, it's amazing what the composer did here. The song keeps this very steady energy all throughout. But what makes the difference is how the notes are played. So at the beginning, I say staccato. That's very quick, energetic, powerful notes, as opposed to the more fluid notes that are played where they kind of hold them out until the next note is played instead of a start stop and opens up the space a little bit there. So it's really cool to see this song kind of mimic these emotions from Undine when she sees you. I kind of almost envision it as like Undine's panicking a little bit. Like, here's this evil human, and now I've got to do the right thing. And Undine's going to do the right thing in their mind. Now that it's here, it's a different story. And the music really does play with that. And on top of that, you also have the volume swells. So at the beginning, very, very loud. When it goes to the fluid, it kind of drops just a little bit. So this may sound dumb and obvious, but one of the things that makes this song great is that I kind of view this song, as you probably already have guessed, as a reflection of Undine and Undine's emotions and the thoughts going through Undine's mind through this fight at the beginning of the fight, in the middle of the fight, and at the end of the fight. And there are other touches to this song that aren't really part of the song, but they are. So if you play it a certain way, you end up running away from the fight. And as you run away, you can literally run on the map and you're running away, and Undine keeps catching up to you. And in these moments, it's absolutely hilarious because the music is still it's still Spear of Justice, but it's not. It's much more toned back, and it's almost like when you're having a nightmare and you're running away from somebody, like you're a bad guy, and no matter how fast you think you're running, you just cannot lose them. They're right behind you. It kind of plays on that, and it's really, really funny. Undine just doesn't let up because of that passion. And the song may seem a bit chaotic, right? With the staccato to the fluid parts, the flutes, the introductive flutes, synth, piano, horns, which we'll get to that in a minute. But this kind of, again, it matches Undine's feelings of, I have this very intense belief that all humans are evil. Oh, a human is here. So like that adrenaline kicks in. So I feel like this song kind of matches Undine's emotions with seeing this evil human, you, the player. One final thing about why this song is great is the horns are probably my favorite part, even though they play probably the smallest role in the song. Now, horns I view as they're big, they're loud, they're pompous. They usually are announcing something, right? And I kind of view this as those horns are honorable. They're showing some kind of like a belief. You have this belief in something and you're sticking to it, right? Like an honor, a code. And Undine has this code. And those horns kick in and kind of symbolize that to show Undine, whether, Undine's a good character here, right? Maybe misled in jumping into conclusions, but it's all from a quote unquote good place, right? And these horns kind of show that this is This is an honorable fight, not just some kind of dirty, down in the gutters brawl. And that is why I think this song is great. I really highly recommend playing Undertale if you haven't already. And if you have, maybe go back and give it a listen. It's such a wonderful song. It's played so well with the interactions with the player and this character and the fight itself. Wonderful usage of dynamics, random instruments thrown in there, and a kind of fun reflection of Undyne, this character that you come across. Hey, if you like this video, if you like these, let me know in the comments below. Like this, subscribe, go share it with people. Let me know because I like talking about this. I don't know if anybody else likes hearing about it. If you do, let me know because I would love to do other songs. And maybe you have songs that you'd say, hey, you should check this out and you should analyze it yourself. Until next time, take it easy. Bye.